Hey, nerdy sports fan here. We're week 5 action in the NFL, and it's the Ravens versus the Steelers. Now, a couple of weeks ago, I would have said you were on crack if you thought that the Ravens were going to win by less than 21 points. But Mason Rudolph has actually not looked like a tire fire. And last week, the Browns proved that the Ravens are mortal. So, this is going to be more interesting, but not very interesting. The Ravens are a better team. They have more talent in more key positions. Jackson is still a better quarterback than Rudolph, and I don't think the home field advantage is going to be enough for Pittsburgh. I just don't. James Conner's good, not great. He's not Le'Veon Bell. He was putting up the fantasy numbers he was last season because people were afraid of Ben Roethlisberger and him throwing to AB and Juju. AB's gone. Roethlisberger's hurt. So the offense is Juju and James Conner, and Juju's getting his, but because he's got Mason Rudolph throwing to him and he's not got Le'Veon Bell in the backfield anymore, and he doesn't have AB on the other side anymore, he's not a wide receiver 1. He's a wide receiver 2 to 3 every week. But yeah, he's getting downgraded because the rest of the offensive staff isn't there anymore, and defenses can key on him. The defense is very good in Pittsburgh, but they're not good enough to carry a team. They're not the Patriots defense. They're not the Bears defense. They're not the Bills defense. They're not a defense capable of carrying you to a win. So that being said, obviously I think the Ravens are going to win this game. I think that Marquise Brown makes another showing. I think that he's going to blow up. Looking at the injury reports, Andrews is questionable still. Keep an eye on that. I do think Andrews is going to play. He is, the number 3 scoring tight end in the league right now, fantasy football-wise. I think that continues. I think the way that the Pittsburgh defense is set up, tight end up the seam is a vulnerability. And I think Brown is going to get his over the top eventually because they really have to plug up the run to stop Ingram and cut down on the seam passes. They got to box up the middle. So there's a reason offenses need to have a running back, a seam threat, and a deep threat. When you have all 3 of those facets of the game going, defenses can only stop usually 2 of those things. And the third thing is open. So, sometimes it doesn't matter. Late in games, big lead. Who cares what the running back does? Stop the seam threat, stop the deep threat. Early in games, though, even, plenty of time, a good offensive coordinator will trick a defense into where the focus is going to be. The defense moves towards that, and whatever's left available, that's where they hit you. And Baltimore's offensive coordinator has proven to work very, very well with all of his shiny new toys. Lamar has developed enough that Brown and Andrews can be used very, very, very effectively with this running game. So Pittsburgh has too much to stop. They do. And they don't have the answers on offense to make Baltimore feel the same way. Baltimore did not look good against the Browns defensively. Pittsburgh does not have the offensive staff that the Browns do. Okay? How many teams have Odell Beckham Jr. and Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb is so much better talent and speed-wise than what Pittsburgh offers. Okay? He's the reason I didn't understand why the hell they sacrificed their locker room and their integrity to pick up freaking Kareem Hunt. I still don't get that. Either way, Nick Chubb is a damn baller. And I don't see him going off like he did last week. Okay? Nobody's going to sustain that. But he's definitely going to have a strong game. Oh, what the fuck am I talking about? Not the Browns. The Ravens. Mark Ingram is going to run all over this defense. But he's still Mark Ingram. He's not top-end speed. Okay? He's not. He's punch you for 4 yards, punch you for 5 yards, punch you for 4 yards, punch you for 6 yards. But that's going to wear this defense down. It's going to wear him down so much. And as long as Andrews is in this game, he is going to reap the benefits. Everybody's going to be afraid of the deep ball with Brown being back in the lineup. Everybody is going to know you got to stop Ingram. And you got to stay relatively close to the line of scrimmage and in your lanes so you can keep Lamar Jackson from running all over you. That leaves the middle of the field wide open for Andrews. So as long as he's in this game and starting, which again I fully expect him to, questionable is a dubious injury designation these days. I think he has himself a game. I think Lamar does okay. He's still fantasy start worthy. There's really not many fantasy quarterbacks that I would put over Lamar Jackson in almost any game. Maybe 4 or 5. Right now, with what he's proven in the first quarter of the season, he is a must start. I put him ahead of, most people. I'd say, Wentz you'd put over him regularly. Mahomes, of course. Can anybody think of anybody else that they would definitely start over Lamar Jackson? I can't. Guy's damn good. He runs, he throws. The offenses look so much better than it did last year. Get him out there. And Andrews is going to be the recipient of this game's offensive output, not the wide receiver core. Brown's always going to be worth a start based off of what has happened in the beginning of the season, but not Snead, not the rest of them. Just Mark Ingram, Andrews, Lamar Jackson. This is their game. As far as Pittsburgh, put Juju out there. Try to trade James Conner at this point. Big Ben ain't coming back. And everybody knows with a young quarterback like Rudolph, you key in on the running game and you stop them. So James Conner's got a name because of what he did last year. You can probably get good trade value for him. Do it because you need to. That's what I got fantasy football-wise this game. If you look at the spread, the Ravens are only a 3-point favorite. That's a joke. That's a joke. They're going to win by a touchdown or more. So I have the Ravens against the spread easily. And hit me up in the rest of the videos to see what I think about the rest of the NFL for Week 5. Hit me up in the Nerdy Sports Fan Weekly to see what I thought about the opening quarter of the season.